Shortly before Donald Trump headed off to Mar-a-Lago this past Friday, he did something that was kept secret until the very end of the weekend. And that was issuing sweeping pardons to all of his scumbag friends so that the federal government that he controls wouldn't prosecute them. And of course, I am referring to the pardons that Donald Trump gave to people like Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Mark Meadows, and of course, all of the fake electors from the 2020 presidential election. These people are scumbags. These people did not deserve these pardons. And if they accept these pardons from Donald Trump, their lives are about to become so much worse than anybody could even imagine. Here's the fun part about this. Many, many years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the acceptance of a pardon is tantamount to an admission of guilt. Therefore, people who accept presidential pardons no longer have a Fifth Amendment right if they have to testify on anything related to what they were pardoned for. They cannot plead the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Donald Trump did not do these people a favor. In fact, he doomed them possibly to prison by giving them pardons. This might genuinely be the dumbest thing that Donald Trump has done, unless, of course, his goal is to punish these people who tried to steal the election for him, because they're all now screwed. We should not be upset that these pardons happened. We should be rejoicing. Because none of these people were facing federal charges. So the pardons were already, number one, completely unnecessary, right? Biden's DOJ, of course, had looked into some of these people, but they didn't bring charges. So the current administration, run by Trump and Pam Bondi, they weren't going to prosecute these people for trying to steal the election for Trump. So right off the bat, there was no reason for this to happen. Trump just wanted to buy their loyalty in case he needs to, try to stay in office again. But the charges these people are facing are at the state level, and Trump has no pardon power at the state level. And again, if they've accepted these pardons, which I haven't been able to confirm whether they have or have not, but if they do accept them, they're likely not going to be able to protect themselves from self-incrimination during those state trials. Not to mention the fact that even just the ruling from the Supreme Court saying if you accept a pardon, that is an admission of guilt, they're not even going to need to try to plead the Fifth, because the prosecutors can go in and tell the jury they accepted a pardon. Supreme Court says that means they're guilty, so that'll make your job, jury, a lot easier. They did it. And they accepted a pardon, which means they admit they did it. Let's put them in prison. So again, I don't know if Donald Trump is just an idiot or if he really does want to punish these people. But this is the dumbest thing in the world that they could have accepted. If they accept these pardons, ironically enough, they're probably going to prison. On top of that, a lot of them, like Giuliani himself, they're not just facing criminal charges, they're also facing the defamation lawsuits from the voting machine companies. Uh-oh. Now that you've accepted a pardon, which means you're an admission of guilt, like the Supreme Court says, which also means everything you did was fake and based on lies, which means the voting companies can use that in their defamation lawsuits against you by pointing to the fact that, hey, they admitted it was all fraudulent, but they said it anyway. I love it. I love it. Donald Trump thinks he's helping people out, but because he is so criminally stupid, he has doomed them for the rest of their lives. And that is absolutely what they deserve. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.